Chapter 5808. You stupid, you have not yet reached the assembly point, you have to transform, and when will you recover from the curse left behind, can't affect my family's plan. Greedy Wolf was a little anxious. Kuei Lang's combat power was ranked first among their Sirius tribe, and this combat power couldn't be wasted like that. As soon as he finished speaking, he thought of something. If Jian Wushuang really got the key treasure in Shuering Mountain, he might be able to fight it once. After they enter the infinite world, they have to fight anyway. If you're scared, you can get out now. Kuei Lang gathered his chi with both hands, not taking care of the Greedy Wolf. Greedy Wolf has evil intentions. If Jian Wushuang and Kuei Lang lose both, perhaps he still has a chance to grab the credit. Jian Wushuang didn't have much interest in their conversation. When he heard the transformation, he thought of the secret technique of the Sky Wolf tribe's talent. Under the demon moon, the Sirius tribe can transform according to their blood, and their strength will increase exponentially. It's just that there isn't even a moon here, let alone a demon moon. Jian Wushuang looked at the aura gathered between his opponent's hands. The red divine power was somewhat similar to the power of his beast god. Your ancestor of the Sirius tribe, is it a natural beast god? It is probably because of this that he can resonate with his beasts. Beast god. Kuei Lang's eyes kept shrinking, and his hands were raised fiercely, throwing the red divine power in his hands to the sky. Wow! That breath is like a piece of condensed blood, and the sky is like a piece of paper. The blood burst, and the sky suddenly turned blood red. Kuei Lang looked up at the blood in the sky, and his eyes turned blood red. There are also 5 universe masters in the 3 tribulations realm, and the same changes have taken place. Their eyes turned red, and their bodies began to swell, instantly transforming into the form of a monster beast that is 10,000 feet tall. Divine power also began to skyrocket. Those universe masters in the 3 tribulations realm had only 350,000 divine power, but after the transformation, the divine power directly reached 400,000. A full increase of 50,000. Kuei Lang is even more exaggerated. His bloodline is stronger, and his divine power increases more. From 530,000, a direct increase to 600,000. Even so much, Jian Wushuang was extremely surprised. He thought it would be good to be able to increase by 20,000 to 30,000, but he did not expect to directly increase by a full 70,000. This is even more terrifying than the power of his beast god. Double the power of the beast god, only increased by 50,000. He turned to look at the Greedy Wolf on the other side, and found that the other party hadn't transformed. It seemed that he was not allowed to participate in the battle. Fair enough. Otherwise, he is really struggling. 3 times the power of the beast is his current limit, and then he needs to use the armor. People from the outside world can see them fighting, and it's a little troublesome to use general armor rashly after all. It's better to use it or not. He now has the sword of 10,000 tribulations, but if it doesn't work, he will use the sword of 10,000 tribulations. Boy, die. Kuei Lang stretched out his sharp claws and tore directly towards Jian Wushuang. The terrifying power shattered the sky. Several spatial cracks appeared instantly, and countless winds gathered. Jian Wushuang had nowhere to hide, so he could only resist. Crossed his hands on his chest, he just took it down. The flesh was torn innumerably, and his divine power began to decline. The gap is a bit big. 550,000 supernatural powers, battle 600,000 supernatural powers. It seems that the difference is only 50,000, but the actual difference is exactly double the combat power. Beast God realm. Jian Wushuang also began to explode. Kuei Lang in the realm felt his divine power, and was actually suppressed a little bit, a little surprised. Kuei Lang, who was originally relatively arrogant, also began to be serious, and said to the men behind him, "You stop his back, and I will attack." Yes. The 5 masters of the universe in the 3 tribulations realm directly surrounded Jian Wushuang. Looking around, Jian Wushuang knew that this battle could only be fought hard. Then start with you. The red magical power on Jian Wushuang instantly disappeared, and his magical power was reduced to 400,000. The masters of the 3 tribulations realm universe surrounding Jian Wushuang were stunned. You surrender now, and you will die too. Kuei Lang directly rushed up. Jian Wushuang's eyebrows twitched, but the aura on his body was the same as that of another person. Surrounded by blue aura, countless electric arcs erupted. The power of the origin is not violent, but flexible, and even more fierce. Kang. Jian Wushuang directly drew out the sword of 10,000 tribulations, and his figure disappeared in the same place instantly, much faster than before. Kuei Lang missed a claw. Before he could react, Fa Jian Wushuang had already arrived behind him. With his back facing each other, Jian Wushuang's mouth raised. The strongest stay behind. It is more important to solve the master of these three tribulations realm first. The blue sword shadow of myriad tribulations sword filled the blood-red sky. Die! Jian Wushuang yelled, a sword swept across, and countless sword shadows flew out. The lord of the three tribulations realm cosmos surrounding him was instantly killed. The vitality in the body disappeared almost instantly. The outsiders who watched this battle couldn't help but take a breath. The sword of Jian Wushuang just now really surprised many people. This son absolutely mastered the origin of the universe, but has been suppressing the realm without breakthrough. Like which great priest? Many people exclaimed. Haha, no matter how strong a great priest is, it is only comparable to the three tribulations realm. Jian Wushuang has surpassed the three tribulations realm regardless of his divine power or origin, and he can even kill the four tribulations realm. Many seven tribulations realms' eyes also looked at Jian Wushuang. The sword Jian Wushuang just made was really too dazzling. The body of the emperor instantly killed 5 masters of the universe with 400,000 supernatural powers. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never believe it. The head teacher of the Jiu Mu sect also narrowed his eyes. The more he looked at Jian Wushuang, the more familiar he became, and suddenly he thought of something. He had seen the blue breath. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Could it be that Lord Barbie Di sent it? The palm teacher of the Jiu Mu sect sank, but after thinking about it, Barbie Di did not notify him in advance. It's a pity that he couldn't take the initiative to contact Barbie Di, otherwise he would be able to verify. Emperor Bobby, if he really planned the Gumu sect, he would have no way. Now in the Gumu sect, only the Shenmu king is in charge. The master of the 7 tribulations realm universe is not in Gumu continent at all. Even if there is the master of the 7 tribulations realm universe, it is useless. He has seen the strength of Kai Jiuxiao. It is much stronger than the master of the 8 tribulations realm universe, and it's useless for anyone to come. Not to mention the ancient wood continent, looking at the entire GUU time and space, the advantage lies with Emperor Bobby. There is no right or wrong in his team. Let's take a look. The Jiu Mu sect headmaster glanced around, watching the guidance of those strong men, and snorted in his heart. The Lord of the Universe is only temporary. Dispersal is a lifetime. Infinite world. Jian Wushuang instantly killed the 5 masters of the universe after transforming. The Lord of the Universe with 400,000 supernatural powers can be killed without any difficulty at all. Chapter 5809. The strongest opponent is Kuei Lang. The supernatural power of 600,000. For Jian Wushuang, there was still some pressure. Although he has a lot of cards now. But it's not going to be used now. WN Liu hadn't seen it, and even the infinite world hadn't even entered. He exposed his whole cards, and the gains outweighed the losses. If you can drag, and if you can hide, you can hide. He is an emperor, there is no need to be a hero on this occasion. If he wants to show his face, when he enters Wanliu, the entire Gumu continent will remember him. You don't think you can fight with me if you kill a few waste product? Kuei Lang's breath was shocked, and he took the sword from Jian Wushuang and said with a grim expression holding the blade, I will let you see. Look, the strongest secret method of the Sirius tribe. Can you still improve? Jian was color changed slightly, and he quickly drew out the sword of 10,000 tribulations, his figure constantly retreating. The greedy wolf next to him was also taken aback. Although the two of them came from the same secret realm, they were only familiar with their own secrets. The real trump card, let alone the same clan, would not be told by the couple. Kuei Lang clenched his fists with both hands, his breath exploded again, and his eyes were about to burst. Split the sky. Hum. The surrounding space began to collapse. With this trick, the momentum alone can tear the space apart. Really crack the sky. Kuei Lang's divine power has not changed, but his secret technique has changed. Jian Wushuang was also a little panicked. The universe master of the Four Tribulations realm was not as simple as he thought. With such strength, it already has the combat power of the Five Tribulations realm. But that is after all a threshold. Just like the limit of the Emperor. It is said to be 100,000 supernatural powers, but there are still many arrogances, capable of reaching 150,000 or even 200,000. The same is true for the Lord of the Universe. Kuei Lang's explosion is enough to match the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm. If Jian Wushuang is too dazzling, it can also cause a lot of shock. Boy, it's over. Kuei Lang stretched out his hand, with upturned, a force that swept the world, instantly raised the nearby mountains to the ground. Jian Wushuang relied on the beast wings to resist with difficulty. He knew that the other party hadn't really shot yet. What was just now is just an appetizer. This time, he was really big. But because of the outbreak of the opponent, he now also has a sense of war and is beginning to boil. Come on, let me see the real secrets of your Sirius tribe. Jian Wushuang shook his show robe, holding the sword of 10,000 tribulations upside down, and there was a look of resoluteness in his eyes. If you want to fight, then fight. Kuei Lang grinned, and a black power began to rise on his hands or claws. Lightian change. Kuei Lang opened his arms and his whole body was plunged into black power. Condensed with hay mist into one body, and rushed directly to Jian Wushuang. The speed is faster than ever. The passing space directly began to collapse. It has been able to destroy the space of the infinite world. If it is a strong person in the Five Tribulations realm, I am afraid it can destroy the infinite world. The wings behind Jian Wushuang shook, and he moved a distance from Kuei Lang, and he continued to use the shadow of myriad tribulations to pull with the opponent. But the fierce Jian Ying could not shake the power of the opponent. In other words, his current original strength is not enough to break defenses. Starry Atlas. He didn't delay when he saw this situation, and directly displayed the Star Atlas. The huge picture concealed the sky. The sword of 10,000 tribulations also buzzed. A powerful starry sky power increased to Jian Wushuang's body. The first sword. Jian Wushuang raised his hand, and the sword shadow of the Wanjie sword turned into the sky, and a green sword shadow cut out from the Wanjian. The sword of life. A sword that was proud of. He didn't believe that the opponent could still block this sword. Kuei Lang didn't dodge in the face of this sudden real sword, but treated it as an ordinary sword shadow, raising his hand to block it. But when he touched this sword, the vitality in his body was crazily twisted, and then he was in awe of life. He began to shudder. Jian Wushuang saw that this sword was effective, so he took advantage of the situation and chopped out hundreds of swords again. The 100 Paths of Life sword completely drained the life force in Jian Wushuang's body. In the past, he would be exhausted with one sword, but now he has used 100 swords in a row to reach the limit. For him now, the power of life is more than enough, to the point that the power of death is too little. If you use the second sword Death of the Star Catalogue, he can use 10 swords at most. And to restore the power of death, he also needs to reverse his life, which is extremely troublesome. But restoring life is much simpler. The power of all things can condense at any time. In just such a breathing time, he recovered a bit. 100 swords of life, against Kuei Lang, even if it can't kill the opponent, it can still cause Kuei Lang to be seriously injured. Seeing Kuei Lang resisting hard, Jian Wushuang thought that the other party was over. But the divine power of Kuei Lang's body has not weakened. Instead, life is constantly passing by. Get out of here. Kuei Lang was furiously haunted by the sword shadow of the Sword of Life. Facing the subsequent Sword of Life, he broke out again. This time the divine power began to rise. An aura of horror exploded in an instant. Kuei Lang's divine power reached 680,000 in an instant. This scene not only shocked Jian Wushuang. Even the greedy wolf couldn't help but retreat. because he knew that now Kuei Lang would lose his reason if he used the secret method. The transformation of the Sirius tribe can be divided into two forms. One is the current form of Kuei Lang, which can increase divine power, but the flaw is that the character will become more and more angry and cannot be used for a long time. The second form is also an increase in power, and the increase in power will be more powerful. The flaws are also more terrifying. You will lose consciousness and enter a state of violentness. It will not stop until the divine power is exhausted and into deep sleep. Greedy Wolf knew that the current Kuei Lang was very violent because of his first transformation and his original character. This time he gave up everything and wanted Jian Wushuang to die. He didn't quite understand it for a while. Jian Wushuang was clearly his subordinates who killed him at first, so why was Kuei Lang so angry? Then he thought of something and let it go. Kuei Lang's mother, who was once a saint of the Sirius tribe, ran away because of a powerhouse from the Yu kingdom. I heard that he is still a clan patriarch in Yu country. That's why Kuei Lang faced the powerhouses of the Yu country, and he was extremely angry. Because of this incident, the clan has often left Kuei Lang, who was originally in the cold. Fortunately, behind Kuei Lang is getting stronger and stronger, so fewer people know about this. I don't dare to mention it again if I know it. Because whoever mentions this matter will pay a great price. Kuei Lang covered his head with his claws, and completely transformed himself into a brief torment. This is to obliterate his consciousness. Kuei Lang now had a trace of consciousness left. He shook his head madly, and his remaining consciousness made him look at Greedy Wolf. Greedy Wolf, you don't forget promise. Kuei Lang's intermittent voice fell, and he was completely violent. Chapter 58:10. Jian Wushuang blinked and said to himself, I don't seem to have much hatred with you. Could it be that among the few people he killed just now, there was Kuei Lang's own father? Otherwise, it won't be so hard. When Greedy Wolf heard this, his eyes were dull, and he muttered to himself, promise? It should be their natal oath made by the Sirius tribe, that in the infinite world, the interests of the Sirius tribe are paramount. The two have only this friendship. I will keep my promise, and I will save you once if necessary. Greedy Wolf didn't cause evil intentions because of greed this time, but admired Kuei Lang a little. He would never be so desperate. Unless the other party threatens his life. He wouldn't encounter such a critical thing, and if he encountered it, he would escape first before talking about it. Unlike Kuei Lang, he has to fight to death and life. Wow! The sound of howling wolves spread throughout the mountain range. Kuei Lang completely turned into his body, his limbs stepping on the mountain peak. Facing Jian Wushuang, he rushed forward without fear. The supernatural power of 680,000. That's not a joke. Even the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm would probably be at this level. Who can stand it? Bright sword. Although Jian Wushuang didn't have much confidence, he still wanted to try. Two swords sliding cut. So far, the strongest two swords. Show it together. The figure is like a sword shadow moving, passing through Kuei Lang's body. But the other party has nothing at all. The divine power has not diminished. Not an opponent at all. Then I can only go. Jian Wushuang shook his head. Originally, his fighting spirit was hooked out, but it was discovered that the opponent was an unconscious beast, and it didn't mean much to fight. It's a waste of time. Go. Putting the sword of 10,000 tribulations back into the scabbard, the blue aura on his body boiled again, directly reaching the deep blue state. Can't beat, he can't hide. He had studied the ability to escape from Chishan Temple and understood it. From being looted by King White for the first time, to the army of gods later. He was caught every time. He will get rid of it later. The strongest secret method is always used to save life. Finding that Jian Wushuang wanted to escape, Greedy Wolf couldn't stand still at this time, and he was a little sorry for Kuei Lang if he didn't make a move at this time. Want to leave? The soft armor burst on Greed Wolf, and his body shape was directly transformed into the first form. Divine power also came to 550,000. He wanted to stop Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang didn't treat him as a human at all. One thought of the universe. The elliptical universe descended instantly. It directly encompasses half of the mountain range. The wings behind Jian Wushuang are even more integrated with Yin-Yang universe. 3 shocks in the universe. His wings shook, and his figure disappeared in an instant. Greedy Wolf threw a claw into the air, not to mention Jian Wushuang's figure, even Jian Wushuang's breath could not be felt. How can this be? He looked up at the sky and felt the power had changed. Completely stunned. That is the embryonic form of the universe. The most famous of Gumu continent is the kingdom of gods built by flame gods. Although it is a special life, there is no original universe. But he was stunned that he had built a universe no less than the Lord of the universe. In the universe of the flame gods, he can burst out the top combat power of the 8 tribulations realm. It's just that the universe can't be carried with me. Just like the ordinary master of the universe. But this is enough for special beings. There is no supreme calamity of the universe, just the amount of calamity of the divine body. You can drag it for as long as you want. Those who can accommodate their own original universe are the real masters of the 8 tribulations realm universe. Ku Jian Wushuang's current universe is said to be a rudimentary form, but the origin is stronger than the Wolf Greedy origin universe. Even those who were watching this battle were boiling over. Seeing Jian Wushuang's thought of the universe, I thought of the prototype of the universe built by the flame gods. But the prototype universe of the flame gods cannot be accommodated. Jian Wushuang, an emperor, could actually accommodate the universe. Although it's just a rudimentary form, it's scary enough. Building the rudimentary universe is nothing to Jian Wushuang. The strong who watched the battle also thought Jian Wushuang had that ability. But being able to accommodate the universe is a bit outrageous. Many people have already begun to look at Jian Wushuang. Accept the universe? How did you do it? This is a big problem. If there is a method, it is enough to change the current situation. You Guozhua son-in-law? Interesting. After the sacred meeting is over, be sure to draw this child together and ask about ways to accommodate the universe. The robbers, without the universe, have no much interest in accepting the universe. But those masters of the 6 tribulations realm universe need this kind of method. If you can accommodate the universe and explore the mystery of time and space, you can also bring the original universe, and your combat power will be raised to a level. The 6 tribulations realm will be able to go to the secret realms where the 7 tribulations realm powerhouse breaks. The treasures and upgrades obtained have changed qualitatively. Connecting He Zhenxian is tempted. He and Jian Wushuang still have some friendship, but this friendship is far worse than that of accepting universe. Even if it's a real dad, you have to ask. Infinite world. Jian Wushuang took a few breaths, used tens of thousands of times to shake the universe, and left the mountain directly. Completely reached the infinite world. At this moment, he didn't know that he had caused a great shock after he exerted a thought on the universe, otherwise he would definitely not be exposed at this time. This is also Kuei Lang's good luck. Jian Wushuang can also behead the opponent if he can only fight without fleeing. Once the general armor is used, he can use 5 times the power of the beast god, and his divine power can be increased to 650,000. Coupled with the 700,000 supernatural power in the jade pot of the ancient temple. Strangling Kuei Lang is too simple. After receiving a thought of the universe, he just came out of the mountain range when he happened to meet the Li family patriarch sent by the empress. Wu Li is also here. Elder Mu Chen had already gone to the assembly place to recuperate because of the serious injury. Jian Wushuang, you really escaped. The Li family patriarch was a little surprised. He knows the secrets of the Sirius tribe very well, because his Taoist companion is the sage of the Sirius tribe. According to his seniority, Kuei Lang would call him a godfather. It's a pity that this unfilial son doesn't even recognize his mother. If Jian Wushuang knew that the other party had this relationship with Kuei Lang, he would probably swear. The juniors have some opinions on speed, and most people can't catch up. Jian Wushuang said modestly. To put it nicely, there are some achievements in speed. The uglier point is to escape quickly. The patriarch of the Li family exclaimed, the Wushuang nephew is humble, and the speed is also a great power. This time you can fight against the 2-4 tribulations universe masters. After you go out, you will definitely be famous. Many 7 tribulations are great. Those who are able are still watching. This is true. But Jen Wushuang didn't care about it. Chapter 58:11. This time, after he goes out, it is normal that all parties will hunt down and kill him. Okay, let's go. Many teams have already set out to enter the infinite world. We are the slowest group. Jen Wushuang nodded, keeping up with the opponent's speed, and moving towards the assembly point with all his strength. In any case, they are not the slowest. There are strong men from the Sirius clan waiting for them, but after reaching the assembly point, Jen Wushuang knew that the powerhouse of the Sirius tribe had already set off. In other words, the people in the Sirius secret realm took the initiative to give up Kuei Lang and Greed Wolf. It is estimated that Greedy Wolf sent the news back to the clan. The strongest combat power in the 4 tribulations realm has been abolished, and there is no need to wait any longer. Although the Greedy Wolf is still there. But using the talent secret method, it will not recover for a while. Can only be discarded. These abandoned strong will be judged as a failure and will be sent away. Assemble the camp. It's just a small town temporarily built around an ancient teleportation formation. There are not many strong players at this time. Jen Wushuang followed the Li family patriarch into a compound, and the empress had been waiting for a long time. Elder Mu Chen also returned to his peak state. Now that everyone is here, let's go. The empress has already seen the advance map of the Arctic ice sheet. This time, what she waited for was valuable. Even if it is behind other teams now, latecomers can still catch up. Jen Wushuang just took a breath, and once again followed the empress in the teleportation formation, truly entering the periphery of the infinite world. Only this time, the empress took the seat herself. No need for him to fight against the banner. Their luck was also better, and they were transported to an ancient river. Although there are many wild animals in Hanoi, fortunately, this place is not an ancient relic. There is not much hindrance. Even if it encounters a desolate beast with a supernatural power of 500,000, the female emperor can kill it at will. Almost equal to air. The female emperor even took out an ancient ship. Everyone was riding on the ancient ship. For 100 days, the line has reached the depths of the periphery. At this speed, I am afraid it can be ranked in the top 3. After walking for a while, they will be able to reach the inner circumference of the infinite world. That is, the most central location. Jen Wushuang was also recovering the loss of life force in these days. Finally took a breath. Very comfortable sitting on the deck and drinking tea. The 4 tribulation realm powerhouses take turns to monitor the surroundings. The Lord of the 3 tribulations realm will also patrol the ancient ship. Only the emperor is the easiest. The 4 emperors had almost nothing to do, except for Jen Wushuang. They were resting in the cabin. At this moment, there is no mood for cultivation. Not only are they on their way, they are still waiting for news. The assessment of the congregation is not just as simple as passing the infinite world. They have to accept many tasks. After completing the task, you will get some special treasures, which can only be used by the candidate saint. Once the candidates for the 4 saints are selected, then the special treasures obtained by other teams are useless. At this time, the candidates of the 4 saints will spare no room to buy these special treasures. It can also be considered to make up for the teams that were not selected. This is also a big receipt. But after so long, the Gumu faction has not assigned them a task. I don't know if it was their bad luck, they didn't get it, or other reasons. But even so, they also have a lead. With the advance map, the upper points marked the route of the treasure house, and many treasures can also be obtained. Therefore, the Empress has not been anxious about the task, but just rushes. Enter the Arctic ice sheet early. Where is the place to fight? On the deck. The Empress stood at the bow of the ship. After the elder Mu Chen made a round of inspections, he went to report the situation on both sides of the ancient river to the Empress, and then retreated. Wushuang nephew, it's better for you to relax. Mu Chen came to the table and was not polite. He just sat down and poured tea by himself. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, "Where is there any easy time? The last war left a lot of hidden dangers, and now it has just recovered to its peak. That's right, I have to thank you last time. If it weren't for you, I might have fallen." Elder Mu Chen picked up the teacup and drank a cup of tea instead of wine with Jian Wushuang. The two had just chatted a few words, but the ancient ship began to shake. Elder Mu Chen's complexion instantly pulled down. That flood dragon, how come back suddenly? After Elder Mu Chen felt the breath, his complexion changed drastically. Jian Wushuang said in amazement, "Jiaolong? Is there a flood dragon in this river?" He doesn't know anything. Elder Mu Chen also discovered the Jiaolong when he was patrolling the two banks of the ancient river. However, according to his calculation, the flood dragon should have gone ashore to lay dragon eggs. Why did you come back suddenly? Being able to make Elder Mu Chen so surprised. From the bottom of his heart, Jian Wushuang deduced from that breath that it was at least the combat power of the Five Tribulations realm. Divine power is no less than 600,000. This bit of combat power, for the Empress, shouldn't be a big deal, and he saw that the Empress was still standing at the bow of the ship so calmly, there shouldn't be a big problem. Jian Wushuang stood up, looked down at the turbulent lake, but also wanted to see how powerful the flood dragon was. At this moment, Wu Li rushed out of the cabin, and when Jian Wushuang was still looking down at the river, he quickly transmitted his voice. "Be careful, Your Majesty's deity is not on the ancient ship. The dragon is a big trouble." "What?" Jian Wushuang looked at the back of the Empress with an incredible expression. Then he looked at Wu Li again, shocked at first, and then there were some strange colors in his eyes. The deity of the Empress is not in the ancient ship. In other words, the Empress standing at the bow of the ship is just a clone. But he didn't know from beginning to end. He didn't even know, Wu Li actually knew. This is very strange. But now is not the time to think about this, it is important to protect yourself first. Patriarch Li, you first stabilize the ancient ship, and the rest will enter the cabin. Elder Mu Chen, regardless of the female Emperor's clone, began to order everyone. Patriarch Li, who also understood at this time, screamed inwardly, but he still complied. Now that everyone is in the same boat, the Empress did not say a word, and the deity left without saying a word in advance. It's really unreasonable. And it seemed that there was only one master of the universe in the Four Tribulations realm. The rest of the people went out with the Empress. Jian Wushuang followed Wu Li directly into the cabin, not caring about outside matters. The sky is falling, and the tall man is holding it. This time, he would not rush forward stupidly. After entering the cabin, Jian Wushuang dared to transmit a voice to Wu Li. From the other side, I learned the whereabouts of the Empress. Steal the dragon egg. Special mission? Jian Wushuang said carefully. Wu Li nodded. Whose task? 9 tigers. _ Chapter 58:12. Hearing this name, Jian Wushuang could understand why Wu Li would know that the Empress left a clone. The luck of their previous team was too bad. First Jin Chen received a special task. Then there was 9 tigers again. This time the qualification token sent by the royal family is really a blood gain. The mission of a few stars actually made Your Majesty's deity dispatch, and also brought several Four Tribulations realm powerhouses. Jian Wushuang asked curiously. Wu Li shook his head. He really didn't know this. However, the Empress would have to take so many people to go, I'm afraid it would be a special mission of at least 4 stars. Before Zhou left, he only told him about this matter, and didn't say anything else. At this critical time, Wu Li didn't dare to ask too much. It seems that this time is firmly in the top 4. Wu Li smiled slightly and nodded. The female emperor was able to enter the top 4, and the 2 of them were the happiest. In this way, he will be able to approach Wanliu Shenmu. Wait first. Everyone in the cabin still didn't know what had happened, but there was a huge wave on the Furukawa River. The dragon egg was stolen, no wonder the dragon was so angry. This is just the beginning. They can only pin their hopes on the Empress. Originally Jian Wushuang felt that the flood dragon had only 600,000 supernatural powers. At present, it seems that he underestimated this dragon. just finished laying eggs, can still be so strong. I am afraid that at the peak period, he has already had a half-step battle strength in the Six Tribulations realm. Even when the female emperor went to steal the dragon egg, she would have to take a few Four Tribulations realm powerhouses. Obviously she didn't have much confidence. Boom. The ancient ship shook again. There seemed to be something at the bottom of the ancient ship. The entire ancient ship almost capsized. The head of the Li family who maintained the ancient ship looked embarrassed. He can't hold it anymore. The dragon burned its essence and blood and was about to destroy the ancient ship. A few more collisions will cause the ancient ship to fall apart. Without the support of the ancient ship, he would have to flee for his life by then, let alone other people. The female emperor was too late to return, so he could only tell Wu Li through a voice message that it would not last long, and he was ready to flee at any time. Your Majesty, you have to hurry up. Elder Mu Chen gritted his teeth, preparing to make the final decision. Jian Wushuang leaned his back against the wall, looking at the painful look of Elder Dao Muchen, a little strange in his heart. If the ancient boat can't hold it, just run away separately. No need to entangle. The master of the Three Tribulations realm universe in the cabin was originally cannon fodder, and his only role was to try his luck, as a toolman to take on tasks. Even if it fell, Elder Mu Chen didn't need to be so entangled. Only a few of these masters of the universe are members of the royal family. More of the ancestors of those family powers. Once you fall, not only will you be over, but the family will also be over. Originally, it is to seek wealth, but no one can blame others. Taoist Wushuang, let's run away together in a while, so there may be a response. Wu Li calmly transmitted to Jian Wushuang at this time. He is the one who can see most clearly. I know it won't last long, and the Empress won't be able to come back for a while. That Jiaolong's lair is actually not far from here. With the speed of the Empress, he was able to rush back soon. As for why not come back to rescue them? I'm afraid it's because of the task that I can't come back. In other words, this dragon was deliberately released by the Empress and the others, in order to complete the task, sacrifice them to lead away the dragon. That's why Elder Mu Chen's complexion was so embarrassing. But in order for Vietnam to be able to take another step, at this time, they can only be sacrificed. Escape. Jian double-faced movement made him feel the ancient ship falling apart. First, the sound was transmitted to Wu Li, and then with one claw, the Princess Jin Chen was directly pulled over. But when he pulled it over, he realized that the other party was also a clone. Jian Wushuang cursed secretly, ignoring the others, and broke open the cabin, looked up and then rushed towards the huge wave ahead. Wu Li also followed behind him. Wait for the old man. Elder Mu Chen knew that Jian Wushuang's strength was extraordinary, perhaps even stronger than the Li family's patriarch, so he planned to flee with Jian Wushuang for the first time. But other people don't have any direction. Scattered around, I didn't know where to escape. Seeing that there was no hope, the patriarch of the Li family led a strong man in the clan and rushed towards Jian Wushuang. At this moment, they can only face the huge waves and flee forward. Jian Wushuang took the lead and plunged into the huge waves. There was already a thunderstorm in the sky, and there was no way to go. Can only start from the river low. But the dragon is also at the bottom of the river. After the ancient ship burst and broke apart, many of the masters of the universe, before they fled in all directions, were chopped into blue smoke by the thunderstorm field cast by the dragon. More than 20 masters of the universe, most of them died at once. Especially the other two emperors died tragically. No one is going to save it. The key cannot be saved. Jian Wushuang took the lead to escape and sneaked into the bottom of Guhe with Jin Chen. Because the response was relatively timely, he was not attacked by that dragon. Behind him, Wu Li and Elder Mu Chen ran faster than Patriarch Li. None of them are fools. Knowing the power of them, anyone who dares to fight hard at this time will be fatal. The Empress can still fight. Even if there are several Four Tribulations realm cosmos masters joining forces, there is a possibility of a battle. However, it is not enough to have only one Li family patriarch who is unwilling to contribute. Jian Wushuang could see which Li family patriarch was very vigorous, and his divine power was not low, and he could still maintain the ancient ship if he really had to work hard. But as the head of the family, the opponent is not fighting alone. If he falls, the Lee family will be abolished. The so-called top 10 families in Vietnam are actually very weak. Like the Lee family, although the master of the universe had been out of the Six Tribulations realm, that ancestor had already fallen, and now there are only 5 tribulations scattered within the family. As the strongest combat power in the family, how dare he go desperately? There are other clan chiefs who have already fallen, and their clan will also fall. It is impossible to maintain a clan by looting the strong. Jian Wushuang naturally knew this, and he didn't complain about anyone in his heart. I just feel that what the Empress did this time is a bit too much. To complete special tasks, no problem. It's okay if you don't tell them why. For confidentiality, for security. Can understand. But what's going on to bring Jiaolong here? Tune the tiger away from the mountain? Reluctant to bear children, can't catch wolves? This is really cheating one's own child. Princess Jinchen is still on the ancient ship. At this time, following Jian Wushuang, he was still confused, not knowing what happened. Can only follow Jian Wushuang to escape without a clue. Family? Jian Wushuang shook his head, and what was even more ridiculous was the so-called glory. The glory of the family is tied to your strength. You have no strength. In the strongest family, you are also an ant, and you may be given up at any time. It is better to fight alone, without worry. Chapter 58:13. Only in this way can we become the strongest. No wonder the Lord Yunji has become the master of the universe of the 7 tribulations, and the female emperor is still the lord of the 5 tribulations. This is the pattern. Before becoming the lord of the universe of the 7 tribulations realm, or after becoming the lord of the universe of the 7 tribulations realm, the Lord Yunji did not intervene in the affairs of the daughter kingdom. It's all about practicing by one person, and the position of the country's lord is a decoration. She doesn't care about power or reputation. Practicing with one heart. In exchange for such an achievement, there is also the master of the 7 tribulations realm universe from the Jiu Mu sect. Even such a big event as the holy meeting did not show up. It has been running around in Outland, very low-key. Which head teacher is very high-profile, because it is just a robbery, there is no room for improvement, only the pursuit of power is left. However, he also met Barbie Di, and now he is a puppet. It's ridiculous. There is no shortcut to becoming stronger. Jian Wushuang always felt that way. If you want to be strong, you must be absolutely strong and work hard. If you don't work hard, just think of some crooked ideas, and you will have to return it sooner or later. Looking down at the confused Jin Chen, he suddenly felt that the other party was very pitiful. Although he has a solid background, he does not have his own freedom. Forced to marry someone who doesn't like it. Now he is still used as a by his mother. Mu Chen, a big idiot, also deliberately kept the word from him. This is where Jian Wushuang is most angry. So when he ran away, he didn't pay attention to each other. This kind of life-related matter should be notified in advance. Now fled without a clue. I don't know where to go. The bottom of this ancient river is just like a continent. There are countless ethnic groups. Wild beasts are rampant. The sky is blocked by thunderstorms, they sneak into the bottom of the river, they will also encounter the same powerful beast. He can only restrain his breath and dive continuously. Where are we going? Jin Chen looked around at the beautiful scene of the river bottom. The more beautiful things are, the hidden ones are often dangerous. Jian Wushuang pulled Jin Chen behind him and said loudly, "Be careful." A red tentacle sprang out from the water plants, and there was a certain toxin on the top. If the emperor was infected, he would die instantly. The sharp tentacles pierced towards Jian Wushuang's chest. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily, raised the arm of the candle dragon, and directly threw away the attack of the tentacle with one hand. Pulling Jin Chen, instead of going deep into the bottom of the river, he began to flee towards the chaotic world ahead. Now is not the time to stop, the flood dragon will catch up at any time. There are other desolate beasts here, once they fight against each other, they will be dragged. He took Jin Chen while running away, and did not forget to remind Wu Li. The tentacle that I just encountered is definitely a desolate beast of the Four Tribulations realm level. Wu Li can't die. As for the life and death of Elder Mu Chen and others, he couldn't control it. When Wu Li heard the transmission, he was startled, and his speed increased again. The danger of this congregation exceeded his expectations. Originally thought that his strength could be ranked in the middle no matter what, life-saving was not a problem. As a result, when he came to the infinite world, whether it was the special life he encountered at the beginning, or the powerhouse of the Sirius tribe, he was not an opponent. Almost exposed his whole cards several times. His trump card is different from Jian Wushuang. Once exposed, I am afraid that the outsiders will be unable to sit still, and the Gumu faction will make an exception and enter the infinite world to hunt him down. Therefore, it cannot be used when it is not a last resort. Now he only needs to follow Jian Wushuang. He still recognizes Jian Wushuang's strength. Apart from the female emperor, Jian Wushuang's strength is definitely the strongest. Even more powerful than the Lord of the Four Tribulations realm universe. This is what the mysterious person in his body told him: as long as you follow Jian Wushuang, you have the hope of saving your life. After looking for Jian Wushuang, he didn't care about anything else, so he just followed. After arriving at the pile of rocks, Jian Wushuang hesitated, but plunged in. These stones are extremely large, and the gaps are not small. After entering, it is more like a maze. The stone should have fallen from the mountains on both sides of the ancient river, and it was indeed able to block a lot of huge beasts at the bottom of the river. He entered with the front foot, and Wu Li followed. Those who were able to escape from behind were all headless flies. Seeing Jian Wushuang entering, they all rushed over. But there are not many people alive. The Li family patriarch, with the remaining 4 masters of the universe, plus Jian Wushuang and others. Only 9 people remained. Suddenly lost half of the manpower. This blow is still quite big. After entering the pile of rocks, Jian Wushuang breathed a sigh of relief. In a natural stalactite cave, he stopped his figure. This is the inside of a boulder. There is no water inside, the surroundings are extremely smooth, and there are still drops of water dripping from the upper part. Wow! Jian Wushuang just stood firm. The water inside the boulder was broken open one after another, and several figures rushed in. Although he runs fast, the people behind are not slow. Because Jian Wushuang still wanted to escape in that direction, the people behind would just follow him, and he didn't need to use his brain. Now it seems that it is indeed the right person. When I ran here, I shouldn't encounter that dragon. A pile of rocks is not a pile of ordinary rocks. It's more like countless mountains piled up together. It wasn't that easy for the dragon to break open. Brother Mu Chen, you should explain, what's the matter? The patriarch of the Li family stared at Mu Chen with a gloomy expression. If it weren't for the special place, he could be watched by outsiders, he would look like killed Mu Chen. Although the Li patriarch is angry, his emotions can still control the Lord. After all, this time, none of them died. His people were brought out by him. But the luck of other strong people is not so good. Home. The third family of the Yu Kingdom. Although there is no master of the universe of the 4 Horizon realm, there are 4 masters of the universe of the 3 Horizon realm. This time the holy meeting, 3 of the 4 kings of the family came. The result just fell 2 people. The second son of the Jiang family Jian Zhen was furious at this time. Mu Chen, do you know that this time my eldest brother and the 4th brother were killed? Why didn't you die? Directly rushing forward, pulled Elder Mu Chen by the collar, his eyes could kill. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang sneered in his heart, and didn't mean to step forward to help. This is what Mu Chen deserves. Don't say it earlier. Having said that, so many people will not die. Speak earlier, if we run away together, at least a few will die. It's fine now, it's half dead at once. The remaining people can only live in this stalactite cave. Jianzhen, don't forget the promise. You came to the holy meeting to assist your majesty. You thought you would kill the family. Mu Chen was still stubborn and pushed aside Jiang Zhen. In fact, he himself felt that the empress did a little too much this time. It chilled everyone's hearts. _ Chapter 58:14. Since ancient times, emperors are the most ruthless. In the eyes of the empress, it is best if the family power is dead and clean. Only then will the imperial power be stable. But after all, Mu Chen was just an idle prince, and he was still the elder of the Seven-Star sect. His heart hadn't become that ruthless yet. The surface is hard, and the bottom of my heart is also a bit sad. Brother Li Sheng, this is the end of the matter. It is not a matter of decision-making. I didn't expect that the dragon would suddenly attack the ancient ship. His Majesty didn't tell everyone before he left. There is also a hidden secret, Elder Mu Chen reluctantly explained. But the Li family patriarch could not be so foolish, and he replied coldly, after so many people have died, this is the end of your frivolity. At this time, the master of the Three Tribulations realm universe at Qingyun Gate was not standing on Mu Chen's side. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang also pulled Jin Chen to move his position. Wu Li had been hiding far away, not going to pick up Li Muchen. For a time, Mu Chen was isolated by everyone. Although there is no way to shoot directly. But they can't always hide here. When they go out and continue to escape, someone will have to lead the way. Some threats also need someone to resist. Mu Chen's hard-mouthed energy was gone, and he sighed, everyone, haven't entered the inner circle yet, we can't fight inwardly. Mu Chen, we don't make it difficult for you. Since it is your Majesty's intention, then you will take us to find your Majesty, meet with your Majesty, and then continue on the road, what do you think? Li Sheng spread his hands and seemed to say something. When it was opened, it actually made things difficult for Mu Chen. Go to the Empress? Where can I find it? Mu Chen obviously didn't know. Dear friends, what was our original intention? Mu Chen began to open the topic, and then said, we are for the glory of the country. Your Majesty's action is extremely critical. What we have to do at this time is to support the benefits of being a saint. I am afraid I don't need to say more about it. When Jiang Zhen on the side heard it, he couldn't help but sneered. The advantage of what you said is that your royal family will take it first. I won't say much about it, but you can let us back it up. What's the explanation? Opportunity. You always have to sacrifice a few people. You are not alive and well, since you are still alive, then you have to continue to fight. Mu Chen wanted to vaguely pass, but the words rushed, the more he said it, the more outrageous he said. The corners of his eyes throbbed, and he cursed, then why don't you die? Seeing that everyone was too arguing, Princess Jin Chen stood up. Seniors, can you listen to me? Jin Chen had Poland in his eyes, staring at everyone. Jian Wushuang wanted to stop, but couldn't stop it. She came out and mixed up in this way, it would only make people hostile. It's better not to say. This matter was originally Mu Chen's problem. It's better to let Mu Chen stand alone. As long as the Empress returns, all problems will become no problems. Do these people dare to question the Empress? Now Jin Chen stood up, and when he got mixed up, everyone's eyes were on her. Don't you say that I have forgotten both of you. Jiang Zhen turned his head to look at Jian Wushuang, and did not respond to Jin Chen. Jian Wushuang sighed in his heart, causing trouble. If he hadn't known Jin Chen's character, he would probably wonder if this fool was trying to calculate him. Jiang Zhen pointed to Jian Wushuang, and said, when you first fled, you were the only one who ran the fastest, and you came directly to this pile of rocks. You should have known this in advance, right? As soon as this remark came out, Li Sheng also looked over. Mu Chen shut up at this time and was dead, not talking. Uncle Jiang, I don't even know about the attack, don't tell me. Jin Chen was interrupted by Jiang Zhen before he finished speaking. Jiang Zhen shouted, you little girl, you don't have the qualifications to speak here. I won't give me an explanation today. Don't blame me for turning my face and not acknowledging people. He didn't dare to attack Mu Chen, he still didn't dare to attack Jian Wushuang. Today, if they didn't do something, wouldn't they really become cannon fodder? Later, let the royal family oppress. Enough. Jian Wushuang saw that the fire was about to burn himself, so he could only stand up and preside over the overall situation. His breath shook, and a dark energy burst out directly. The space here was small, and the divine power burst out for a short time, directly shaking everyone back for a few steps. The red divine power surrounds Jian Wushuang's body, and the mark of the beast on the eyebrows becomes more and more dazzling. If you want to explain, you can ask your majesty. What is the result of the quarrel now? His voice was extremely strong, and everyone's chest was dull. Jiang Zhen had heard about Jian Wushuang's strength a long time ago, but he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. Now that Jian Wushuang's strength is stronger than Li Sheng, he just swallowed it if he wanted to say it. Seeing that Jiang Zhen was not speaking, Jian Wushuang looked at Li Sheng again, his eyes flickering, and his killing intent rose. Standing in place, Li Sheng felt the threat from Jian Wushuang. He could feel that if there was more nonsense, Jian Wushuang would definitely do it. At the moment, it is still important to save their lives. I originally wanted to use this matter to pursue the matter of the royal family. Now it seems that the female emperor is not there and Jian Wushuang is an emperor, which can also shock them. Okay, since it's all right, then listen to me. Jian Wushuang took the power of the beast god, found a stone at random, sat down, and said calmly, "The most important thing for us now is to reunite with your majesty. There are countless desolate beasts in Guhanei, and there are many at the Four Tribulations realm level, which is definitely not something we can pass." Mu Chen watched Jian Wushuang, General Li Sheng and General Zhen settled, and raised his throat at this time, and said, "Wushuang sage nephew is right, meeting with your majesty is a big deal. I know you haven't said where you are going down." Jian Wushuang didn't give the other side a good face this time, and just abandoned him just now. In addition to hiding his majesty's trace on the ancient ship, even he was deceived. This matter, he hasn't settled the account with the other party yet. Li Sheng and Jiang Zhen found that Jian Wushuang and Mu Chen seemed to be at odds. For a while, they didn't know if they were pretending to be garlic or whether they were real. If it is true, then the truth may be known to Mu Chen alone. "I have tried it, there is no way to contact the mother," Jin Chen said anxiously. Hearing this, everyone took a deep breath. "Even my daughter could not be reached. How can I find it?" Jian Wushuang knew that the Empress must be completing a special task, and it is normal if he can't contact him now. They can only wait here. When the Empress completes the special task, she will definitely come back to look for them. It's just this time, I don't know how long it will take. He had only used a stick of incense to complete the task of the Emperor. If it weren't for the troublesome task, a simple fight might not take a stick of incense. And it's a 5-star mission. Even if the mission that Zhou gets is 4 stars at the cosmic level, it will probably take a long time. In addition, the Empress deliberately led away the dragon. The task is certainly not simple. Chapter 58:15. The time required may be as short as a few days or as long as 100 years. For 100 years, Jian Wushuang could not afford to wait. 100 years in the outside world is not time. But here, how many wild beasts have to be encountered in 100 years? The stalactite cave here is not absolutely safe. In case of an attack by wild beasts, they would have to flee like a headless fly. And the dragon is still staring at them. They may be found at any time. In the past, he felt that facing the 5 Tribulations realm could be a battle. But the infinite world. Whether it is the Lord of the universe or these wild beasts, it's not easy. And the whole cards are not only his own. Others have. There are also wild beasts. It is no longer possible to judge the strength of the opponent with normality. Just like Kuei Lang, he thought that the other party had 600,000 yuan in the sky. In the end, at the cost of losing his mind, 680,000 divine powers exploded. This was only a cosmic master in the 4 Tribulations realm. Not to mention the Lord of the universe in the 5 Tribulations realm. Even the top 5 Tribulations realm Cosmos Master has 600,000 guaranteed divine powers, and it can exceed 700,000 in any burst. Just talk about the dragon. Although there is no original universe, the power of blood is extremely powerful, and it is likely to be the descendant of a certain true dragon. Even the Empress was afraid to lead the other party away. Just these few smelly fish and shrimps are really going to be caught by Jiaolong Dingshan. I'm afraid I don't know how to die. This place is still too close to the place where the ancient ship was destroyed. Moreover, the aura of their human race powerhouses is very conspicuous at the bottom of the ancient river. The bottom of the river is full of the aura of wild beasts. No matter how well they hide, they will be discovered. Jian Wushuang was so sure that he could cross the sea without telling the truth, but other people couldn't do it. Rather than just wait and die, they should take the initiative to attack. This is his idea. The super-secret method of changing Dao. Jian Wushuang began to figure it out in his heart. The others don't care, at least they must keep Wu Li, and then Jin Chen. He promised the Lord Yunji to protect her. This time is the opportunity to pay back the favor. Although Wu Li's importance is higher, the other party also has a lot of secrets. He can feel Wu Li's vitality. Since entering the infinite world, he has become more and more prosperous. That power does not belong to him. This is someone else's secret, and he can't ask more, he can only take precautions before they happen. Yin-Yang conversion pill. After a long silence, he said a name. That is a secret method of changing Dao, which exists in the legend of Maruo time and space. He heard from the inheritance of the first true king. His change is also due to the evolution of the three kings. It's just that he made a slight improvement and became an eternal change. Now he wants to reverse the change of Dao, transform the yin and yang into a kind of pill. As long as you refine the yin-yang transformation pill, you can allow others to cover up the aura of your own human race. Able to muddle through at the bottom of the river. It's just that he needs some time. It was originally the secret method in the legend of Change Dao, and it would take some time for him to learn it. It is even more necessary to reverse the secret method and become a pill. Follow-up will be refined into a pill. It takes a period of time. It will take 10 days at the earliest. If the Empress replies in 10 days, it is naturally best. Just think he was planning ahead. If it is the Empress, there is still no news. Then refine the conversion pill, and everyone will become a monster. Only in this way can life be saved. Jian Wushuang told the whole story. He doesn't care if these people object or have any opinions. Anyway, he was not prepared to refine it for these people. Conversion Dan? Li Sheng frowned and asked carefully, Wushuang Taoist fellow, if this is a conversion, can I switch it back again? Become a monster. This makes many people unacceptable. Jian Wushuang didn't conceal it, and directly replied, the possibility is very small, but even if you transform into a monster race, your original universe will not change, maybe your divine power will increase due to this. How sure are you? Li Sheng gritted his teeth as if he had made some decisions. Compared with his own life, it doesn't matter if he becomes a monster. Anyway, the strength will not change. Less than 30%. Jian Wushuang stretched out 3 fingers, and then said, I still need a lot of materials for wild beasts. It must be ancient wild beasts, the best in the 4 tribulations realm. Dan Fang hadn't figured it out yet, he had already arranged the task of materials first. After hearing the earthquake, he was surprised, only 30%. Ph. This 30% depends on whether the waste beast material is qualified or not. If the material is too bad, there is no hope of 30%. I need time to prepare the pill now. You only have 10 days. If you don't have enough materials, then the catastrophe is over. Jian Wushuang said half-threateningly. Not to blame for his ruthlessness. It is really limited. There is also Mu Chen, a big pit product. If he told him earlier that the Empress had an action, he would be able to prepare in advance. Wu Li also had a problem. The Empress ran away without telling him. Those people who are left behind now can only save themselves. I will think of a way for materials matters. Li Sheng finally compromised. There are 2 descendants of the family behind him. That is the hope of the family. Turning his head and glanced at the 2 younger juniors who were still a little bit behind him, Li Sheng's conversation changed, and then he said, I don't have enough materials, and I need other people to cooperate. This is natural, except Princess Jinchen, you choose whatever you want. Jian Wushuang looked very generous, and with a wave of his hand, he gave power to Li Sheng. Li Sheng glanced at the others, and finally said, Wu Li, Mu Chen, Jiang Zhen, and this fellow Qingyunmen Taoist, Come with me. The remaining 4 people, apart from Jian Wushuang and Jin Chen, are the 2-3 Tribulation Realm Universe Masters of the Li family. Hearing that the ancestor did not take them, the 2 younger generations of the Li family, a man and a woman, couldn't help taking a step forward, but they couldn't say what they said. The 2 have been protected too well in the past. There is no danger in the country of Yu. During the Emperor's period, the Emperor went to the outside world, and there was also the protection of the family's scattered robbers. Now facing absolute suppression, there is no confidence. Both of them have less than 400,000 divine powers, and their life-saving ability at the bottom of the Furukawa River is too weak. If you go out, I'm afraid you won't live for 3 days. Li Sheng turned his head and glanced at the 2 of them. There was a rare gentleness in his eyes, and he said calmly, "Don't worry, you are here to protect the Daoist Wushuang, everything will listen to Daoist Wushuang." This sentence is very level. In Jian Wushuang's view, the remaining 2 universe masters are not as good as the shrimp soldiers and crabs at the bottom of the river, and staying behind is also a burden. Originally, I wanted to take advantage of this time to find materials, so that people would have less hands. In this way, he can take these people with him, delay time together, and wait for the Empress. The infinite world is a huge Colosseum. Chapter 58:16. It is not only necessary to fight against all forces, but also to fight against the local powerhouses in the infinite world. Those wild beasts, special lives, and even some relics and forbidden areas. All are in great danger. It is in such a world that if they want to be in the forefront, they need to fight. Those who are weak will give up decisively once they encounter danger. Bringing the Emperor is to gather the number of people. If you are lucky, you can receive the task. For example, Jin Chen received a 5-star mission. Even if it fell this time, it didn't hurt. Although Jian Wushuang didn't agree with him from the bottom of his heart, he had to accept it in the face of reality. Even he himself acquiesced and even accepted this rule of survival of the fittest. No one wants to be involved. All want to be chic. Well, you'd better kill 3 ancient desolate beasts at the 4 Tribulation Realm level, or 100 ancient desolate beasts at the 3 Tribulation Realm level, within 10 days. The materials needed for the conversion pill must be all. Don't even let go of the fur. Jian Wushuang actually didn't know Danfang himself, but to be on the safe side, he asked them to collect all the materials. When the time comes to refining by himself, he will only use what is used, and it will be fine if he doesn't use it. Anyway, he is not going to kill those wild beasts. Li Sheng didn't say much, just nodded. The others took a deep breath, and then jumped into the pool one by one. Jiang Zhen can be regarded as acquainted with the current affairs, and he didn't say much, and honestly followed Li Sheng. 5 people set off together. Jian Wushuang sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes. Origin star sky. Floating in his own universe, it is extremely comfortable. Eternal change. He clenched fists with both hands, and he was constantly inspired. The powerful starry sky instantly covered his whole body. Strength has also increased several times. Cool. The power of the eternal change lies in the power of the stars. Changed road, just an auxiliary role. If you use the power of all things to perform eternal changes, then it is no different from eternal change, and the strength of the increase is limited. The key to the eternal change lies in the power of the stars. What is the key to conversion? After Jian Wushuang accepted the eternal changes and returned to normal, he began to read some secrets about the original changes. It seems leisurely, but it is quite difficult. 10 days is too short. He must be as fast as possible. This place may be discovered at any time. While he was in retreat, there was a battle in the depths of Furukawa. Li Sheng led the people and killed him from the west bank of Furukawa to the east bank. Even hit the shore. This kind of slaughter quickly caused several desolate beasts of the 4 Tribulations realm level to come. Originally, according to their plan, it was to quickly kill the beasts of the 100 heads and 3 Tribulations realm level. This is actually very simple for them. It's just that he is afraid to provoke the desolate beasts of the ancient 4 Tribulations realm. The desolate beasts at the three tribulations realm level at the bottom of the river are actually not very powerful. The divine power is only more than 300,000. Mu Chen and Wu Li can kill them easily. It was more than wrong to deal with these wild beasts by Zhenzhen. But that's alone. They are not facing two ends. It was a siege of dozens of heads. Although Li Sheng's strength was strong, he couldn't take advantage of dozens of wild beasts. In one day, they only killed a dozen of them. And also provoke a few desolate beasts of the four tribulations realm level. Just when they were ready to give it a go. But thunderstorms appeared above his head. It's Jiaolong. According to the original plan, they will escape separately. They had expected Jiaolong a long time ago, but they didn't expect it to be so fast. The five fled separately. The dragon's realm had just arrived, and the deity hadn't arrived yet, and they had escaped. But as long as you are in this field, you can't escape the tracking of the dragon. Damn human monk, you. The flood dragon descended and took the lead in focusing on Li Sheng, who was the fastest to escape. The huge dragon tail swept directly towards Li Sheng. Fortunately, Li Sheng's speed was fast enough, and he avoided steadily. The dragon's tail hit the rock wall of the river and directly shattered the mountain. Many unlucky wild beasts were instantly annihilated. You can't escape. The dragon transformed into a human form, speeding up, rushing to the nearest Azure Cloud Gate Universe Master, and crushing the opponent's origin with a single claw. A strong person in the five tribulations realm, killing a three tribulations realm is simply an adult hitting a child. There is no secret method at all, simple and rude, one-hit kills. It was just like Jian Wushuang used the Sword of Myriad Tribulations to behead the masters of the three tribulations realm universe. Feel the fall of your companion. Li Sheng's face is as grey as death, and the rabbit and the fox are sad. It's just that there is no time to feel sorry for him, so he can only take the opportunity and rush out of the realm with supernatural power. Others were not keeping their hands at this time, and burst out with all their strength, rushing out of the field. Jiang Zhen directly burned 30% of his divine power, and desperately escaped, but his combat power was also reduced to the lowest. As soon as he rushed out of the domain, he encountered a desolate beast in the four tribulations realm. Despair leaked out of his face, and he shouted angrily, "Even if this seat falls, don't die in the hands of you beast." What? Make a fist with both hands of Zhenzhen, and all his supernatural power burns. The whole person turned into a round of sun. Infinite divine power broke out. The desolate beast of the four tribulations realm hurriedly backed away, and at the same time yelled, "I haven't done anything yet, what are you in a hurry?" The earthquake also fell. But he didn't expect that he would choose to blow himself up before he died. His death can be regarded as a delay for other people. Mu Chen took the opportunity to go ashore, and his figure disappeared in the jungle of the mountains. Jian Wushuang's plan was too ideal. It may also be that what they think is a bit simpler. In one day, 5 of them. 2 died. Mu Chen went ashore to escape. Wu Li was in the chaos and disappeared. Only Li Sheng dragged his seriously injured body and returned to the pile of rocks. Puff. Li Sheng spit out blood just as soon as it surfaced. The whole person lay directly on the ground in a beach. Jin Chen was taken aback, and quickly stood up. The 2 Li family's masters of the universe hurriedly stepped forward to check the injuries of their ancestors. Jian Wushuang remained unmoved and continued to explore the pill for conversion. But Wu Li didn't come back, causing him to sink in his heart, and quickly transmitted the voice to the other party, but he couldn't get in touch anymore. Fortunately, I can feel the causal existence of the other party, and I shouldn't die. I had known that he would not let Wu Li go. Things are getting worse now. The holy meeting was more dangerous than he thought. In fact, they didn't need to be so tired. If the female emperor was there, in this ancient river, as long as there were no barren beasts and special beings at the 6 tribulations realm level, they could almost walk sideways. But the female emperor gave them up midway. Oh. Jian Wushuang sighed, opened his eyes, and took a look at Li Sheng's injury. There was a trace of life force in his palm, and he gave up after thinking about it. He can't save people. If the power of life is discovered by a strong person watching from outside, then it's over. Chapter 58:17. It's just that the powerhouses in the outside world don't have much to look at them anymore. They are all staring at Shigua's team. On the edge of the infinite world, because there is no danger, his few battles will be paid attention to. But now all teams have entered the periphery of the infinite world, and even entered the periphery. There have been hundreds of battles at the 5 tribulations realm level. Not many people care about the defense of an emperor. Not many people pay attention to Jian Wushuang, which does not mean that no one pays attention to other people in Yu. Such as the Empress. This female emperor of the Yu kingdom is really ruthless, even her daughter and brother have given up. Many powerful people have been watching the female emperor of the Yu kingdom. Because it is a popular candidate. Naturally there are a lot of concerns. Jian Wushuang also looked a little insignificant under the brilliance of the Empress. The current Empress is indeed very dazzling. In a special secret territory. That was a special task that Johu received. Special tasks at the cosmic level are extremely dangerous. Even if the Empress is extremely powerful, she must be treated with care. What's more, this time she faced a 5-star mission. Once completed, the top 4 are basically stable this time. Only reach the top 4. Only hope to fight for the position of the last saint. For this position, Empress Fengchen did not know how many epochs had been prepared. Seeing that there is a 7 Tribulation Realm Cosmos Lord among her peers, she is only a 5 Tribulation Realm Cosmos Lord. This sense of gap is an unbearable shame in the eyes of a person with particularly strong self-esteem. Not only will she become a saint this time, she will also attack the 6 Tribulations realm in one fell swoop under the eyes of countless people. By then, she will be famous throughout the ancient Wood continent. Take the position of Yu country to new heights. This is not only her wish, but also the expectation of the ancestors of the royal family. For many years, there hasn't been a master of the 6 Tribulations realm universe in the Yu kingdom. This time it must be grasped. Now it seems that the Empress has indeed grasped it. In that secret realm, she stole the dragon egg first, and then used the dragon egg to induce a special life. That is the core of anything this time. Every special task can almost involve a lot of strong people. Her task is not to kill that special life, but to help the other party to avenge. Help the other party to unify that secret realm. This is more difficult. It's not as simple as killing 1 or 2 5 Tribulations realm desolate beasts. But to fight for a period of time in this secret realm. It may be a waste of time, but when the task is completed, she will have to advance the map and become a treasure of the saint. These are worth her effort. It's just that she didn't think about how miserable those abandoned people are now. Li Sheng fell asleep. Although there are special treasures, it will take some time to recover. Fortunately, when he came back, he brought dozens of waste beast materials. These materials have satisfied Jian Wushuang's opportunity to practice his hands. Although the pill is not perfect, you can try to practice first. He didn't think about it once. Don't be too anxious. Otherwise, all previous efforts will be lost. Don't be idle, you too, help me out the demon energy in those materials. Jian Wushuang commanded the 2 remaining masters of the universe. He is really too busy alone. Jin Chen can only find you and hurry up on the sidelines, he can't help me a little bit. Several days passed. He failed several times. The only time he succeeded, the effect of the pill was the opposite of what he thought. It is the pill to transform the desolate beast into the human race. Can only overthrow the past. But the current materials are not enough. Looking at the 2 remaining masters of the universe, letting them go is to die. This time he had to go in person. You 2 are waiting here. I will set up an enchantment. Once you touch me, I will receive a message. I will come back as soon as possible. Don't go out. If Wu Li comes back, let him not come in first. Waiting for me at the bottom of the water. After Jian Wushuang gave an explanation, he plunged into the pool. Below the pool, he entered the pile of rocks, and after a round, he came to the depths of the river bottom. Just to be on the safe side. He did not leave too far. Can only hunt some wild beasts around. The dragon should be far away. But he can't be too careless. The speed of that dragon is very fast. Even if it is far away from him, he can be found quickly. It's just that his supernatural power is different from others. It can be completely restrained. In this way, the flood dragon would not be able to spot him. Quickly find the target. Because he has the experience of refining the pill, he also knows that the kind of beast is more suitable. Let's take your knife first. Jian Wushuang contracted his breath, turned into a blue air current, and floated towards a weird-looking wild beast in the water and grass in the distance. This desolate beast's divine power is as high as 400,000, and it is about to break through into the Four Tribulations realm. Wisdom is no different from ordinary people. But facing Jian Wushuang, he didn't notice the dangerous aura at all. Jian Wushuang just appeared behind the opponent so quietly. Wow! In an instant, his breath soared to 500,000, and he made a knife with one hand, and slashed this weird beast into two directly. The origin and divine power of Com weakened instantly. I don't know who made it to death. It's a good end. Jian Wushuang waved his hand and collected the remains of the desolate beast. His figure turned into a flow of air again, looking for the next target. Collecting 10 heads according to his plan is enough. With 10 more barren beasts, he would almost be able to refine the conversion pill. As long as there is a conversion pill, he will leave here with Jin Chen. I just don't know where Wu Li has gone. But as long as the opponent is not dead, he can find him. According to the guidance of cause and effect, the opponent is not too far away from him. As for the missing Mu Chen, he could feel that the other party should be on the bank of the river, but his breath was constantly weakening, and sometimes there was no time. Most likely he was trapped in a ruin. Whether you can live depends on your own good fortune. He didn't plan to save him. This time he pitied them so miserably. Even if Mu Chen died, he deserved it. It happened to be dedicated to the country of Yu. In the valley far away from the riverbank, Mu Chen really fell into a ruin. Entering here hastily, suddenly can't get out. Moreover, having isolated his own divine power, he couldn't get out at all. Where, he said that every day should not, and the earth is not working. Can only bite the bullet and continue to move forward. Originally, he wanted to try his luck. In case there was no danger in the valley, he would be able to survive the catastrophe safely, as long as the Empress returned. But his luck was too bad, and he fell into an ancient ruins, or the ruins of a sect. Get deeper and deeper. Don't continue walking, and not reconciled, want to gamble once. Chapter 58:18. It's just that his luck was too bad, he gambled in the wrong direction again, and strayed into a crack that swallowed people. He fell without even leaving the corpse. The King Mu of Yu Kingdom has since disappeared. The teams from Vietnam also reduced their staff again. At the same time, the number of teams in the outer and inner walls of Infinite World is constantly decreasing. The Lord of the Four Tribulations realm universe has fallen a lot. The Gumu faction distributed a lot of tasks this time. Many people are sparing no room to fight. Naturally, many people have fallen. Only the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm, no one has fallen. There are few dangerous places in the periphery that can threaten the Lord of the Five Tribulations realm universe. As for the desolate beasts of the Six Tribulations realm level, I am afraid that there are no outside, and there may be a few inside, but if you want to encounter them, it is even lower than the chance of becoming a Six Tribulations realm. At the core, there may be a lot of beasts in the Six Tribulations realm. But wherever it is near the end, no one will wander around anymore, only going to the end with all his heart. Their chances are both on the outside and inside. In the core area, the Lord of the Five Tribulations realm will fall accidentally. How dare to stay? Each one is struggling to move forward. There are also many trapped in one place. Just like Jian Wushuang and the others, they are in a dilemma. Deep in the bottom of the river. In a panic of water and grass, countless snakes hovered, but their strength was very low, and their divine power was less than 10,000. But even so weak, as long as it is a barren beast, it can survive at the bottom of the river. In these swimming snakes, there is a stream of air, which is constantly circling. Not fooled. Jian Wushuang sighed and decided to give up. The upper point of the snake is a desolate beast of the Four Tribulations realm level, with a divine power of about 500,000. He originally wanted to attract the other party into his full set, so he used those snakes to attract the other party. As a result, the wild beast didn't care at all. With a frontal attack, he has the ability to kill the barren beast, but it will waste a long time. When that time is found by the flood dragon, it will be difficult to escape. Now he has collected the materials of more than a dozen wild beasts. Almost enough. Ready to return to the rock pile, refine the conversion pill, and then leave this river with Jin Chen as far as possible. That flood dragon, I'm afraid it won't take long before it will stare at the pile of rocks. It's no problem for him to escape by himself, but if he wants to take Jin Chen, it will be more troublesome. And he has to go to Wu Li. Without Wu Li, he couldn't open Wanliu. He had known that he would not let Wu Li go. It is very passive now. After bypassing the desolate beast above his head, Jian Wushuang's figure shook, and it took only a few breaths to travel through the space before returning to the pile of rocks. After entering the crevice of the stone with 7 turns and 8 turns, he followed a hole and entered the stalactite cave. Wow! With the sound of breaking the water, the two Li family's masters of the universe almost moved. After discovering that it was Jian Wushuang, he breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing him come back, Li Sheng, who was cross-legged to recover his supernatural power, also opened his eyes. "It seems that you are recovering well," Jian Wushuang said. Li Sheng smiled awkwardly. Seeing the sacred meeting, who wouldn't prepare some treasures to restore divine power, this time he was injured, and he almost spent all the treasures. The result was still not able to recover to the peak. "Friend Wushuang, how are you preparing?" Li Sheng's tone was very plain, and he didn't dare to repeat it. He can't protect himself now, and he has to take care of 2 younger generations in the family. "I didn't dare to offend Jian Wushuang, now it is completely relying on Jian Wushuang to be able to refine the conversion pill, and to survive here safely, waiting for news from the Empress." Jian Wushuang randomly found a flat place to make a small cross-legged, and said indifferently, "The materials are enough, it depends on the luck this time. The material obtained this time can be tested twice. If it succeeds the 3rd time, then everyone can get a conversion pill. When letting him is not needed. There are 4 more people here, plus Wu Li. You have to refine 5. According to the order he wanted to protect, Wu Li was the first, and Jin Chen was the second. Follow-ups are not arranged, and you can give it to whoever is pleasing to the eye. There were vicissitudes in Li Sheng's eyes, recalling that he was full of spirits a few days ago, but now he is so embarrassed. Those familiar faces have fallen one by one. Compared with their Li family, the Jiang family is even worse. 4 King Kong, 3 came. All fall. Fighting over and over, the ultimate fate is fall. Only a stronger presence can protect itself. Blame him for not being strong enough. Now his biggest vision is not to fight, but to keep the hope of the family. Then trouble fellow Wushuang Daoist, if I go out, my Li family will definitely come out with a thank you gift to visit. Li Sheng put his posture to the lowest. Hope Jian Wushuang can refine successfully. Jin Chen's strength is low, and she doesn't know what happened to the outside world. She can also guess that those who left may never come back. There are also the 2 lords of the 3 Tribulations realm universe from the Li family. They are all the pride of the sky, but in the face of real opportunities, there is no family to cover the wind and rain. It's just like Luotangji. Ridiculous and pitiful. Sigh. Jian Wushuang ignored them, and began to refine the conversion pill by himself. At his level, pill furnaces are needed for alchemy. Just throw the refining materials into the source, nothing is more powerful than the source. The first test. He needs to reconcile both yin and yang. UU reading www.ukanshu.com. It's the same as the fusion of water and fire. It's just that the difference between human race and desolate beast is not comparable to water and fire. For death and life, he experimented many times. The combination of human race and desolate beast is not difficult for him. It's just that the details are more difficult to grasp, and if you make a mistake, you must overthrow it. If it is not because of external pressure too much, he can study it tens of thousands of times. If you are proficient, you will be able to succeed every time. But now the time and environment don't give him this opportunity. It can only be done in the fastest way. Failed. He was not surprised when he failed for the first time. Something expected. He had to try at least 3 key steps in refining the transformation pill. The first failure is acceptable. But the second failure is not allowed. He didn't believe it anymore. He would choose one of the 3 with bad luck, and he failed both times. It really succeeded the second time. Continue to refine. Until the last step. Choose one from 9. According to his experience, the 6 paths with the smallest probability can be eliminated. Choose one of 3 again. But this time, the probability of choosing one of 3 is only 10%. Because there may also be 9 paths he eliminated. This is the hardest point. But he only had 1 chance to experiment. Can't fail. Unfortunately, some things are often not as desired. Still failed. Seeing that the material is lost in half. Even if it succeeded for the 3rd time, it would not be enough for them. But now there is no other way. Can only bite the bullet and continue. If it doesn't work, go to the outside world and kill some wild beasts. Chapter 58:19. Before Jiaolong had searched this place, he still had some time. Last chance. Backhand threw all the materials into the source, refining step by step, extremely smoothly, and reached the final critical step. This time, he cannot fail. It took a long time to raise funds before making the final decision. The blue origin shook for a while and began to condense into a pill. Whether it succeeds or not depends on the effect. An evil spirit hit, and the sword was overjoyed. Successful. He grabbed several pills floating in the sky of Origin Star. Her consciousness returned to the deity and stood up directly. Took a long breath. This time he finally succeeded. Although there are only 4 pill, as long as he has the pill prescription and the successfully refined pill, he can refine it again. There are exactly 4 people here. Originally I planned to keep one for Wu Li, but there will be no one for a while, so I can only give it to others first, and when he finds Wu Li, he will refine another one for the other party. These are all small things. 1 for each person, eat it. Jian Wushuang handed over to everyone. Jin Chen held a hot pill and hesitated. After the conversion, is it really impossible to transform back into a human race? Li Sheng did not hesitate, he was the most decisive. He didn't expect that Jian Wushuang would give each of them one, so he ate it without hesitation. The pill enters the abdomen, and within a short while, the origin of the body begins to change. The power of the source has not diminished, but the upper limit has been reduced. But the divine power is constantly getting stronger. Sharp tentacles grew on Li Sheng's body. The tentacles in the back row looked like Kualong's horns. Kualong is among the materials used to refine pill. There are also fish. Li Sheng's yang energy is heavy, so he turned into a dragon. My supernatural power has increased by more than 20,000. Li Sheng was overjoyed. He didn't expect to increase so much, and his injury was fine. It was a surprise. After the conversion, he looked at the younger generations of the 2 families and nodded, indicating that they could also be converted. Jian Wushuang was fairly satisfied with the pill he had refined, but he hadn't even thought about Jin Chen's problem. It was quite troublesome to reverse the human pill again. Moreover, if you want to refine and transform into a human pill, the materials needed are the strong humans. After a pause, he replied, "Wait, there will be a way. If it doesn't work, I will reverse the pill and refining and transform it into a human conversion pill. But at that time, you have to let your majesty go down and give it to me. Find materials. To reverse the prescription, just experiment and the required materials. I am afraid that a lot of masters of the universe will be needed. Fortunately, Jin Chen is an emperor, but even if he is an emperor, he still needs to kill many human emperors and powerful people. Killing wild beasts is okay, the 2 are originally opposed. There is no karma if you kill. But slaughter is weak and has karma. At the beginning, he didn't care about karma because of karma. Anyway, I am sick, I am not afraid of one more. Now that the cause and effect is gone, he doesn't want to do this kind of thing anymore. When the Chen family was destroyed, it was because the Chen family's own karma was not small, so the Chen family was destroyed. Not only did he not get the of karma, but he was also protected by the golden light of morality. Eliminate evil. It's still good, and it's a very long-term thing. Be evil. Only short-term benefits will be obtained, not long-term, unless it is halfway whitewashed. Of course, in Jian Wushuang's view, no matter which one it was all for profit. No one cares about ants. That is the essence. Jin Chen didn't understand the whole story. He felt that he could be transformed into a human race, and he didn't hesitate. Also began to switch. In the end, all four were successfully converted. Li Sheng became a shameful dragon. Jin Chen became a mermaid. The backs of the other two Lis turned into a pair of yasha. Jian Wushuang was quite satisfied. It was the same as Daxia in Chishan Temple. He looked like a person in appearance, but the things he did and the breath on his body were not at all connected with the human race. Seeing Jian Wushuang changed his body, it was like a new person. Several people were a little curious, but didn't dare to ask more. Well, now we set off and leave here. Jian Wushuang jumped into the pool first, and the others followed suit. He took the lead, and Li Sheng was behind. The two masters of the universe in the Li family are protecting Jin Chen. They came out of the pile of rocks and swaggered across the river bottom. Li Sheng, who followed at the end, looked around and asked, "Wushuang Taoist fellow, there is a plan. Where is our next foothold?" Speaking of where to go, Jian Wushuang himself didn't know. He followed the path of finding Wu Li based on cause and effect. It's just not easy to tell these people. I haven't figured it out yet, but there are many wild beasts at the bottom of the river, and they should be divided into races and forces. Since we have converted to a monster race, we will meet those monster race forces, and maybe we will unexpectedly receive the good. Jian Wushuang still had some expectations. He is not like these people are scared and stupid, just want to save his life. There are so many opportunities for the holy meeting, and he is still some distance away from the perfection of the universe, and all the chess pieces on the Guantian chessboard can be swallowed. He didn't have the strength to swallow the rest. Can only look for the original treasure. This place is a good place. The origin of the desolate beast is very fragile and does not need too many original treasures. I am afraid that there are a lot of them at the bottom of the river. He can take the opportunity to search some. After Li Sheng heard it, he sighed in his heart, feeling that he was old. The younger generation of strong men is still thinking of chance in desperate situations, but he just wants to save his life. That's how the strength is stretched. The pattern is so slowly getting smaller. After the group left the rubble, they walked for almost a day. Finally left the water-grass river area. At this time they reached a huge deep ditch at the bottom of the river. This deep ditch is like a mountain range on the ground. Jian Wushuang didn't even think about it, so he plunged in. They also encountered a lot of wild beasts along the way. But those wild beasts hide far away when they see them. The desolate beasts of the Four Tribulations realm did not dare to approach. This is related to the breath on his body. Among them, Li Sheng has the highest realm. The lord of the Four Tribulation realm universe. But now he has used the origin of the beast god, and his appearance is also a robbery. Moreover, the origin of the beasts, although they have not yet reached the peak. But it also reached the pinnacle of the Four Tribulations realm. When the wild beasts saw him, they thought he was the descendant of the beast and the pinnacle of the Four Tribulations realm. Don't hide far away. The descendants of the beast gods are noble existences everywhere. Jian Wushuang only used twice the power of the beast and could maintain this state forever. Plus the origin of the beast god. He is indeed a descendant of animal design now. But these wild beasts did not dare to approach him, which was also a problem. There is no way for him to find an entry point. Dear, click in, give a good comment, the higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of the beautiful wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ad. Chapter 5820. You can't just wander around. The guidance of cause and effect is a little vague after all. Wu Li has a high probability, in this deep ditch. I don't know how the other party escaped. Now I can only go in and talk about it. In the huge river bottom mountains, there are countless wild beasts. There are also many treasures. There are some treasures that the wild beasts look down upon, but for Jian Wushuang, they are of great use. Along the way, he has picked up treasures that enhance his origin. Everything contained in it is extremely rich. It's also a good treasure when placed outside. Li Sheng was a little surprised to see him doing this. The strength is clearly comparable to the peak of the Four Tribulations realm, but he picks up some here that he doesn't look up to. For those who practice divine power, those treasures that enhance their origins can be considered treasures if they are relatively special, but like those picked up by Jian Wushuang, even in the Three Tribulations realm, they don't look up to them. Jian Wushuang didn't care about other people's gazes, and stopped and went, picking up a lot of original treasures. Enough to condense a black hole. You can pick it up easily, why not pick it up? He is now getting closer and closer to the great perfection of the universe. Once the universe is consummated, it will be almost impossible to condense the real universe. Before condensing the universe, he had to break through the tribulation realm. I feel where I am. This does require a lot of external force and my own understanding. It's something you can't ask for. He needs to realize in the crisis. Right now, there is really a crisis coming. A great battle is taking place in a narrow gap on the periphery of the mountain range. The leaders on both sides are the Four Tribulations realm powerhouse, and there are hundreds of Three Tribulations realm beasts. In the narrow gap, the ground shaken by both sides. Jian Wushuang took people nearby to watch. Let's go, these wild beasts seem to be fighting for a treasure. Li Sheng's eyes were very old, and at a glance he could see a faint halo beneath the gap. And with it comes a unique force. It should be a valuable treasure. Others really can't tell. Hearing Li Sheng's words, Jian Wushuang only paid a little attention to the treasure under the gap. It seems to be a treasure that increases divine power. For the wild beast, it is indeed worth fighting for. But to Jian Wushuang, it was rubbish. What he cares about is not the treasure, but the battle. The strong on both sides. None of them used the body, they were all humanoids, and it seemed that they weren't to the point of a death fight. For those lonely beasts, there are obviously some differences. The strong one fighting between the two sides has a high probability of coming from two forces. If he is going to take a kick at this time, you can take the opportunity to mix into a certain desolate beast force, so that it will be more convenient for him to find Wu Li next. Now he has to think about how to use this fight to gain the trust of the other party. The first is the origin of identity. This Furukawa is extremely wide, traversing the entire periphery. The source goes straight to the core of the inner circle. The forces are bound to be complicated. It is not difficult to conceal one's identity, and a false identity can be fabricated at will. They all have the origin of wild beasts, and the other party will not regard them as adult races no matter how much doubt. After thinking for a long time, Jian Wushuang paid attention. Turning to look at Li Sheng and the others, he said calmly, "Are you ready?" Li Sheng was stunned for a moment when he heard it. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly thought of something, and quickly pulled Jin Chen and the others back. "You are crazy." He thought Jian Wushuang was going crazy and going to treasures from the wild beasts. This is not to blame for him thinking. But Jian Wushuang had already exploded out of breath. "Ha!" Jian Wushuang shouted, his supernatural power soared to 550,000. A flash, directly into the gap in the mountain range. The sudden eruption not only shocked Li Sheng and others. Even the wild beasts that were still fighting were stunned. Facing the mysterious powerhouse who suddenly appeared, they stopped one after another. Jian Wushuang was bathed in scarlet aura, which was the power of the beast god. The purest innate beast god. This breath overwhelmed all the wild beasts. He also took this opportunity to glance at these wild beasts. Because I didn't use the deity, he looked like a dog, but his appearance was strange, just in the shape of a human. The leaders on both sides are all peak powers of the Four Tribulations realm, with divine powers above 500,000. Similar to the greedy wolf back then. However, the Sirius tribe is not just a barren beast. They are all descendants of beast gods who claim to be noble. Jian Wushuang is the same now. A supernatural power of 550,000 bursts out, and the two of them are calmed down directly. At the same time, he also found that these two Four Tribulations realm peak powerhouses had a sign hanging on their chests. The shapes of the brands are different. It appears to be a distinction between the two forces. One of the Four Tribulations realm powerhouse with a fish head human body frowned when he saw Jian Wushuang, who suddenly appeared. He could see that Jian Wushuang's aura was very special, and his strength was stronger than him, and it was extremely difficult to provoke. Let me interrupt your yaxing. The treasures below this place are very important to me. I don't want to come thousands of miles. It is for this treasure. Please give me face. Jian Wushuang hugged his fists towards the leaders of both parties. This made the strong leaders on both sides stunned. However, they are all wary of this sudden emergence of the strong. The two powerhouses are both desolate beast forces in the mountains. Although it is a hostile relationship, at least know the roots. Suddenly seeing the Four Tribulations realm powerhouse facing him, I can't help but feel a little skeptical. And as soon as he came, he would fight for the treasures below by name and surname. This is too much. After playing for such a long time, you can't give it a hand. Even if you feel Jian Wushuang's breath is unusual, it is likely that he is a descendant of the beast god, who is extremely powerful, but he won't let it go. The point is that Jian Wushuang has already made it clear that he is not a local powerhouse. This is even less need to worry. There are so many of them, they will never be robbed by an outsider. Jian Wushuang's eyes turned, and he knew this too. That's what he wants. Let both sides stand on the same line first, and make a solid impression of his identity as a strong man in the field, that is enough. The next step is to dismantle these people from within. Does Your Excellency have a problem with your brain? Just let it be if you say so. What do you think of us? The Four Tribulations realm powerhouse with the fish head human body gave a cold snort, completely uncut. He doesn't care where the mysterious powerhouse in front of him comes from, or how hard his background is. This place is their territory. It's so easy if you want treasures. After Jian Wushuang heard this, he was not angry, but was delighted in his heart. Haha, I was abrupt. He took out 10,000 mixed stones from the mustard seeds without rushing, and said indifferently, "This is the treasure I got from killing the strong human race a few days ago. It was bred in the original universe of the strong human race. I am willing to exchange this for the treasure below." Hunyuan stone. There are millions of Hunyuan stones in his body, which are needed no matter if it is a human being, these barren beasts, or a special life. Chapter 58:21. Not only can it increase divine power, but it can also restore its origin. For these people and beasts, it is also a rare treasure. In the infinite world, there have been strong people in the past, but there are no more people than the opening of the holy meeting. And that's a long time ago. There are too few local powerhouses who can come up with the Hunyuan stone here. I'm afraid some have already been used. The Four Tribulations realm powerhouse of the fish head human body has only heard of the legend of the Hunyuan stone. This is the first time I have seen you. Feeling the special breath bred by Shangfen, my heart trembled. He had heard that this kind of mixed origin stone, the Lord of the human universe, takes a long time to condense one. The opponent's shot is 10,000 yuan, which is definitely a big deal. I want to agree right now. But before he said it, Jian Wushuang spoke. Since you saw it first, then you will divide the 10,000 mixed stones. As soon as he said this, the strong fish head frowned and turned to look at the strong snake head who had previously competed with him for the treasures here. The Hunyuan stone is more important to them than the treasures below. How could it be divided? For the treasures below, We must fight each other. Not to mention these mixed stones. But neither of them are stupid. What if you lose both sides and get attacked by a mysterious person again? For a while, the two sides were in a stalemate again. The sword has no two-sided color, which is the same as he imagined. Since the two of you have no objection, the treasure will be collected next. He waved his hand and burst out extremely powerful divine power in his palm, directly sucking the treasure that still exudes light in the gap into his hand. After weighing it up, after deepening his thoughts, he discovered that it was a kind of inner alchemy left by a wild beast of vegetation. In fact, it is a small ball after the fall. The original source condenses and shrinks. Inside, there is a complete origin of the universe. And it is the origin above the four tribulations realm. The value is not small. This is the origin of the universe with roots. It's not the original origin of everything. The original origin of all things was condensed by the Lord of all things. It is water without roots. This inner alchemy contains the purest origin of the wild beast. Although it does not help his starry sky origin. He doesn't like it either. But it is of great use to the origin of his beasts. It is completely possible to upgrade the origin of the beast gods to another level. 10,000 mixed yuan stones, spend is not considered a loss. After receiving the treasure, Jian Wushuang turned around and was ready to leave. The strong fish head and the strong snake head stopped him at the same time. Jian Wushuang frowned and said, "Everyone, this is a bit out of order. Friends, you misunderstood." The strong fish head smiled flatteringly. The strong snake head also leaked a kind smile, wanting to come close. However, Jian Wushuang backed away again and again, and said in a vigilant manner, "Why is that?" "That's right, fellow Taoists still have this virgin stone, I'm willing to collect it at a high price," the fish head expert said diligently. Seeing this, the strong snakehead was unwilling to show weakness, and said quickly, "I am willing to pay double the price." For this, the two fought again. Upon seeing this, Jian Wushuang hurriedly came out to make a round and said, "You two, there is indeed a bit of mixed stone on the lower body, but the treasures I need to go deeper into the mountains to be able to find, I am afraid the two. Don't worry, although I can't take it out, my prince can definitely take it out." The strong fish head knew what Jian Wushuang wanted to say, and he obviously felt that the two of them were not qualified and couldn't take out that kind of treasure. But their great king definitely has the treasure Jian Wushuang needs. And there are many more. The mountains here stretch to the inner circumference of the almost infinite world, and there are countless strong ones. But if you really want to say who is the strongest, that is definitely their king. The same goes for treasures. Hearing the word big king, the strong snake head fell silent. The power he was in was established by a special being in the five tribulations realm, and his background was incomparable to the great king in the mouth of a strong fish head. Because which great king is a real powerhouse in the six tribulations realm? Like a snake, don't fight with me. You can't fight with me. I am willing to share these 10,000 yuan stones with you. I also look at you. Don't ask for trouble. Suddenly, the strong fish head Jian Wushuang was a little surprised by the hard temper. The strong snakehead snorted coldly, took half of the Hunyuan stone into his hands, and snorted coldly. "You are running around, don't be proud, we will be long in the future." Putting down a cruel word, he hurriedly left with his subordinates. The fish head rushed and said proudly, "This snake is quite sensible. In this mountain range, no one can contend with my great king." "Oh!" Jian Wu asked with surprise on both sides, "I don't know if the king in the mouth of your friend is the Holy Lord." The superpower among the wild beasts, especially claiming to be the Holy Master, Jian Wushuang's words can be regarded as jargon. But after hearing this, Ba2 Ben quickly waved his hand and said, "No, no, my lord, I disdain those vulgar names, you can call him the King of the River." The King of the River? Jian Wushuang deliberately widened his eyes. When he was collecting waste beast materials, he had searched for the soul of some waste beasts in the three tribulations realm. In the memory of those wild beasts, Yukanshu Com has the title of King of the River. Just don't know the exact identity of the other party. Maybe those wild beasts were just heard. Yes, it's the King of the Roman River. B.A. Bobbin was very proud of it, and then said to Jian Wushuang very carefully, "Also, my great king is the only super strong in the entire romance in the six tribulations realm. God's body has been robbed 6 times. God." Jian Wushuang was really shocked this time. He didn't expect that this ancient Hanoi had superpowers in the six tribulations realm. Now he regrets a bit. Originally, he took out the Hunyuan stone, just to attract the other party's attention. Then break into their interior. This is also good for heading to the depths of the mountains openly. Now I learned that there was an old monster in the six tribulations realm inside. He was a little scared. But you don't have to be afraid. My prince is the most merciful. As long as you have the Hunyuan stone, the prince can take out the treasure and exchange it with you. He will never bully the small with big things. If you don't believe it, you can ask around. Paid his chest and promised. Although the wisdom of the wild beast is no less than that of the human race, but its heroic temperament is much stronger than that of the human race. Jian Wushuang could only choose to believe it now. Then I will be the king's cave mansion, and I'll be harassing 1 or 2. Ba Bo Ben said politely, "No problem." After confirming, Jian Wushuang turned his head to greet Li Sheng, who was hiding far away, and motioned for them to come. Li Sheng was in the distance and saw everything. Know what Jian Wushuang is going to do. Originally, he thought the plan was okay. But when he heard the six tribulations realm, he regretted it. They were originally chased by the 5 tribulations realm flood dragon, but they had just escaped from the wolf's mouth, and now they are going into the tiger's den again. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.